Greetings, welcome back to FS25. We're on Backwoods County 4X, doing lumber and cattle. I think this is probably going to be looking at like my last playthrough here. I'll probably continue doing some stuff with it, but it's to the point. Everything is so profitable. So we've got um, beautiful. We lost several horses. Um, had 8. I don't know why it's like this. Um, I do have a mod that livestock can die. It seems my horses are hit the hardest out of all of them. I did breed up some more sheep and goats. So we're now up to let's go to this one because the numbers aren't there. Horses, yeah, we're down to 3 out of 16 when we at one point in time had 8 of them. So we lost 5 horses for unknown reasons. Got just shy of 2,000 sheep. Um, at 8 months, I would breed these again. Once the price starts going off on these, I'll sell them. I might breed them. No, I might breed these again, but yeah, whichever way. The cows got 1,000 total. Some Angus, some water buffalo, and some milk cows. And they are currently, these two are breeding right now. But yeah, we've got the straw, we've got hay. Why those horses died, I've got no clue. Because health's 100%. And I've got the mod that has an AI that keeps these riding them and cleaning them up and everything else. But I'm not going to buy more. We've already got some manure and slurry running through the system. The silage, I have turned that off from going in there anymore because we'll produce more than we need just from the slurry and manure, and all of our grassland stuff we get from here on out is going to be used solely for feeding the animals and selling some from time to time. So this, the way I do grasslands, this is 2 months worth of gold. This is the second month of gold. This is its first month in gold. So if we look at this, you'll see how it's actually just about as tall or a little bit taller than the grass around it. And we'll go ahead and run over here and look at this right now. This is its first month in gold. And it's going to be just a little shorter than the surrounding grass. As you can see, it's just a little bit shorter. That's why I always go to the second month of grass. When I'm doing grass fields. And I give myself at least 2 headlands of room, usually about 3, to be able to make my turns. So we'll harvest this up. This is going to get put in with the dryer to make hay. We've got some silage off to the side. So we don't need any more silage right now, but our hay is a little bit low on the sheep. Not to be stressful about it yet, but it is a little on the lower side. I think I am going to if I keep playing this playthrough a whole lot more, I think I'm going to do a change on a couple of these fields. Actually get some grain going, or buy some other fields to get some grain going. We've still got a lot more forestry stuff we could do, but I'm just really not a big forestry type person. Generally when I'm doing anything forestry related, I am generally not recording because I've got a audiobook or something else running in the background to keep me entertained because it's just so monotonous. So if you want to see some more Farm Sim content, there's a new map that dropped today at the time of recording that I'm contemplating checking out. And one of the things I'm looking at doing on my next playthrough would be not to use the farm production mod. It's just OP. You make so much money doing it. So I'm thinking I might do a straight up farming, some basic greenhouses, and that's it. All right, this should be more than enough. This will get us well over 1 million liters. The other field will give us a little over 1 million liters. Because this one has a area that you don't get great yield off of. where the other field has good yield all the way through. All of this light green to yellow is, I think, 60-70% yield. And over half this field is bad yield. Where the other field is in this dark green the whole way through. 120, 110, 120%. Yeah, with that farm production mod, 1,000 head of cattle, the manure and slurry off of that would easily give you enough to buy everything you need to keep them fed and upgraded. And we're actually going to be getting a lot better yield off this field than I was expecting. We're definitely going to be over 1 million. We might hit 1.2. Which would be beautiful. Heck, we might hit 1.3. I don't think we're going to hit 1.3. I think it'll be in the 1.2 area. We don't have all that much to get left. 1.25 maybe. Definitely going to be over 1.25. We might hit that 1.3. Yeah, we're going to hit 1.3. I just don't know how much beyond that. Just under 1. Oh, we got 1.3. So like I said, this will go into hay. And I could do another trim all the way around this complex. Because our yard is got some tall grass to it. Wait a minute. Did it just do what I think it did? Okay. I thought that was just decorative. It is and it isn't. We can hit it with the equipment, but it won't do anything else. Okay. And chances are when we relog, it will be back in its correct spot. So what I'm looking at is, let's get that to drying. We've got enough to make it for a month. So what I'm going to do right now, we've got all of this opened up back here. And I was planning on going just this way and then up if I wanted to keep doing with lumber. That's why it's over there. $8.23. $823,000. We should be at about 1,100, 1.3. There you go. 823. That's 555,000 roughly. And that's what I was getting at with the everything going to, once I get this cattle barn going with that farm production mod, handling the manure and everything. I don't think it shows slurry, just manure. All right, yep, slurry is still getting dumped. Okay. So with what is processed through the manure and slurry, we get almost enough straw to cover what they will use. The only other thing we have to buy with fields of grass to be able to make silage and hay, the only things we have to buy is mineral feed, which is expensive. But it's doable. And we're making over 200,000 a month just off the cattle. And a lot of these are very young cows. They're not producing a lot of those components. And as you saw, 993,000, almost 94,000. And the cows, that almost completely replaces all of the straw they used. Um, with mature cows, you replace the straw that's used inside the barn with a little bit of excess going into uh, back into their feed. You do have to buy a little bit of straw from their feed cycles. One decent sized field, you collect all of that straw, you wouldn't even need to do that. And if I was going to run this, I would probably get rid of all of the lumber stuff. Uh, I would get rid of all of the lumber stuff after I finish clearing up a little bit more. Maybe enough to widen that field up, but maybe not. Um, and I would have one of these two grass fields turned into some kind of grain field. Do a thing of canola, could make a lot of money making diesel. Uh, Barley would give us a lot of straw. Uh, and that would cover everything we need covered. And while we're hooked up to this trailer, let's go over here and grab all the digestate out of this. Luckily, it doesn't take long to fill it. The digestate loads so quickly, it's nice. And so that is going to get cut and made into silage. But that is pretty much it. We've got a lot of money coming through nowadays. More than enough to be able to get us a seeder. Uh, which is the only thing we would need to change one of these fields over to another crop. And what we're going to get here is so we cut that other grass field in June. This will be the first gold. This will be the second gold. And then back to a first gold if we harvest November. October would be the second gold from the grass field we cut today. So what I would be doing is probably letting that grass field go an extra month. Harvest both of those fields up about the same time. If I didn't want to switch over to grain. And if we did switch over to grain, we'd want to get another tractor or two. And let's look at that harvest dates. We could plant August for canola. I don't have periodic plowing turned on. So generally, we have currently enough on this farm right now that even if we stopped producing lumber, we have all the money we need. I missed a lime and fertilizer sequence on this field. That's why the the yield number color is so bad previous harvest. Gonna get one more done. It's definitely enough turnaround. Now, if I remember right on this one, the reasons I turned plowing and stuff off is, and that bad spot right there was a spot that the fertilizer didn't spray for some reason. We're going to have a whole bunch of that kind of stuff where we get a bunch of different colors on the hillside up there. Because there's a bunch of spots that along that bend up along the top there that the fertilizer just didn't fertilize correctly. And I didn't feel like going back through it all again. Because we're getting more than enough grass that I am not worried about maximizing the crop yields. Yeah, you can see all those spots the fertilizer didn't hit properly. And I did have to smooth this field down pretty dramatically, and that might be what this is. All the bumps weren't taken care of. Let's get just one more line on this. All right. So I'm not sure if I'm going to do a start from scratch on that new map that just came about, or what my next playthrough is going to be on Farming Sim. I got a couple Empyreons in the can. I'm waiting to post up. Then we've got let's see what else after that. I'm thinking Subnautica is, I think, my next playthroughs. And looking at this yield, on the smaller field, by a fairly significant margin, just the yield difference between these two fields is massive. So we got 1,500. Roughly difference between a 23 acre, a 7 more acres over here, but this gets close. And the difference is that 125%. All right, so pH and all that stuff needs to be done on these. I'm not going to worry about it right now. More than enough monies. In this amount of silage. And that other, yeah, we don't need both of these fields by any stretch of the imagination. All right, did I still have it? Yes, I do. Let's go ahead and upgraded this. It just handles the trailer so much better. Should get a wash thing going. But yeah, that's where I'm going to go ahead and end this video. Basically, I could cut this out. I've got pot up to about here. And we could do more. At the same time, I'm very tempted to get out of, if I was going to keep this going, I probably would get out of the lumber industry. Because we make more than enough just off the cattle stuff now. We wouldn't need to do much of anything else. So you all have a good day. I am going to call it here. Get a cup of joe. I think I'm going to... I might play this some more a little later on. If I do, I'll cut out a bunch of these trees, stagger them up back here. Maybe get some more to be able to widen this field out a little bit, but I'm to the point that I get right now where I am just ready to change up. And what I was referring to they did some stuff on these maps, but Vast Country looks to be interesting. You got different types. You've got summer barley, summer wheat, winter wheat, clover, alfalfa. So you've got a starting farm and a building somewhere. I haven't really looked at the map to figure out which way I would go on it. This would be a good one to do lumber at the get-go, because you have a lot less possible contracts to help out and make cash. So that's where I'm going to leave you all. Have a good night.